YouTube, it's your girl Denisha. I'm back with another freaking video, and this time I am bringing y'all what y'all have been waiting for, which is a more in-depth detail about the home buying process. I'm gonna try to be as thorough as possible while also being as quick as possible because camera's about to die. Sorry y'all, I filmed another video that I haven't posted yet. So I'm gonna knock out this video while I'm washing my face. I hope y'all can hear me over this water. If not, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do better. Let's hop right into it. Step one, check your credit score. I recommend Credit Karma. You know, check it for free. However, Credit Karma only gives you 2 credit scores, but that's okay. You will be able to kind of guess where your 3rd credit score falls under. But either way it goes, it really doesn't matter if you put your credit score before or never, because your lender will do it for you. I personally wouldn't suggest getting a house until you establish some line of credit. So don't be trying to buy a house when you first move out at 18. Like, get an apartment, try to report your rent. And I already brushed my teeth, by the way. Try to report your rent to the credit bureau if your apartment's allowed it. My 2 apartments ago, my first apartment, they did. So my credit score like went from nothing to like 7 something, low 700s. It wasn't a big deal, but it went up, and that kind of gave me a little bit of credit score. But of course I bought a car after that, and so it went down. But you know, my credit score was good. I want to say credit score plays a factor in, this is what I'm using, by the way, the Fenty Skin, y'all can see that, Fenty Skin Total Cleanser. I want to say that your credit score kind of determines how much you can get. But just try to get it as good as possible, I would suggest. Because with my credit score, my approval amount was like 240, which means I can't buy a house over 240,000. So if you trying to get your first home, and it's not about if you can afford it or not. You probably can afford a $2,000 a month note or whatever works for you, but what your credit score looking like, it's a big deal. So definitely check your credit score. The next step is determine how much you can afford. Okay, honestly, everything that they're telling you to do, your lender kind of will help you do, because you can check your credit score, you can determine how much you want to afford, but your lender is going to run your credit anyway, tell you your credit scores, they should, and then they're going to tell you how much you're approved for, which is how much you can afford, and then you will look for a house within that range, you know what I'm saying, and you can choose from, you know, like realtor.com gives you an estimated like mortgage amount or whatever, all that stuff like that. So you can pre-do it, but then when you get with your lender, they're gonna really put you on track and check you. So don't, I can afford $2,000 a month, and then your lender say, oh, you only approved for $140,000. So yeah, then you be mad and you don't want to get no house, but they already ran your credit, you know what I'm saying? So after they ran your credit, I think you got so many days before they'll have to run it again. So no, I guess that's why they say check your credit score, so you already know what you're working with from the jump. But if you don't, your lender will put you in the right place. Okay, choose a lender. Call me crazy, but yeah, my realtor, I found my realtor first before I found the lender, and she basically gave me a list of people, and this was the first person that she gave me, and I just went with the first person that she gave me. Worked out in my favor, God had my back, but I mean, you could talk to multiple people. I don't know, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't be trying to talk to a bunch of other people, because when you get on the phone with people, they try to sell you, and it's like, I'm just here to ask questions. I don't want you to try to sell me, and you know, but that's a personal thing. I struggle with saying no. So I just went with the first person she gave me, which ended up working out. She was very sweet, responded very quickly. If you have a good lender, they should be responding to you really, really quickly. My lender responded quick. Like if I sent her a question, I had a question about something, she was responding within 5 to 10 minutes, and that was on a busy day. Because sometimes she'll respond immediately, which I like because I'm gonna respond immediately. And it takes 30 days to close on the house, you know, because you have to go through all the inspections and all that stuff like that. But it takes 30 days to close on the house. We were done doing what we needed to do before the end of week 2, because I was communicating quickly, she was communicating quickly, we were done. So it was like 2.5 weeks of just waiting for closing day to come. Everything else was already done, whatever. So they say, I'm looking at a list of whatever. Choose a lender and get pre-approved for a mortgage, which is what I was telling you. They're gonna run your credit and tell you how much, you know, what's your limit. There's a name for it, can't think of it right now. Choose a real estate agent. You can do, I found my real estate agent first because my real estate agent would know people, would know lenders already, which would take a lot of the work off of me because she could just give you the list. But you can find your, you can't do anything without a lender. So find your lender first, find your realtor first. You can't do anything without a lender. But your realtor should have like a list of vendors that they work with or their company has worked with if they're new. And it would take a lot of work off of you trying to figure out what's the what. Especially if it's your first time buying. My first time buying a house, I'm not trying to do all that thinking like, help me. That's what I'm paying for. Or that's what you're getting paid for. Thank you. So I put them to work. I put my realtor to work. Start the home search process. So you find a realtor, you find your lender, you know what you're looking for, what amount you're looking for. Then you can get on realtor.com, Zillow, wherever you find your houses, and you know, find a perfect house for you. That's within your range, within your budget, has things nice. You know what I'm saying? You and your realtor go to all these different, you can go to open houses, or you and your realtor, or you know, just have your realtor hit up those people. Your realtor should be licensed for your entire state. So if you want to move to another city, don't be afraid to find your realtor in the current city that you're in. And don't be afraid to make your realtor, hey, I want to go see this house an hour away. Don't be afraid to ask your realtor that. Don't be worried about their mileage. When they do their taxes, they get reimbursed. They get write-offs for mileage. It's a part of their expense. So make your realtor drive. I'm telling y'all, if you want to go see a house that's 2 hours away, you know what I'm saying, then that's what you want to do. If your realtor want to be a realtor, she gonna, you know what I'm saying, like they're getting paid to go. You the only one paying for your mileage. They gonna write that off of their taxes. So don't trip. Don't trip. Because I have a coworker that's doing it now. She lives like an hour away, and she wants to see houses in my city. And I'm like, girl, it's an hour. You're totally fine. You're the one that's driving around in a truck at that. So don't trip. They're getting paid. But I didn't make my realtor do that. I wasn't trying to move far away. I was moving within the city. So she probably loved me. Anyway, you find your perfect home. You're like, oh, I like this one. Let's make an offer. Let's whatever. So that's when you discuss with your realtor like what you want to offer. I had a new construction, so I mean, what they were selling it for was pretty much the price to me. But if it's like an older home and they're selling it for $240,000, you feel like I gotta come in here and I gotta do a lot of work still. Like, can they bring the price down a couple thousand, whatever? This is when you make your offer, and this is where you do your negotiating. Like, yeah, or maybe they have an old house with a new fridge. You may want to ask, okay, well, does the house come with a fridge? Or this is where you know, like, hey, I'm willing to pay this, blah 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 blah. Now the houses should be listed at a fairly, because they have to do what's called market research or something like that. And now I'm using the Fit Skin Fat Water, but they have to do like market research. They have to research like the houses, the surrounding houses in the neighborhood, how much they sold for, and then they create their estimate of what they want to sell the house for before they list it. Now this should be done, but some people may feel like, oh yeah, but I've done XYZ to the house since I bought it, so the value is yada 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 yada. So you know, they should do that, but whatever. And if you make it to the appraisal process of a home, then the appraiser will tell you the true value of it. But here's the thing, by the time you get to the appraisal part, you've already signed a contract or an offer with the set amount that they said. So if they listed for $240, you made an offer for that, and you decide, oh, I want to wait till the appraisal come back, and the appraisal come back and it's like the house is only worth $190,000 or $200,000, then you may be stuck, you may be bound to that $240,000 price, even though the house is not worth it. I mean, depends on your state and what your contract says. I'm not a realtor, so any realtors that can correct me on that based on the state that you're in, you know, drop that in the comments below. Or if you know something, you've been through a home buying process before, drop that in the comments below, because it may be different where you are, or I may not be explaining it correctly. But you may be bound to that price, or maybe you're not bound to that price, but you say, well, I don't want to pay them $240 if the house is only worth $190,000 or $200,000, and then they may be like, well, we want $240, so we don't accept your offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the seller once they find out the appraisal price, if they want to go down, if they want to adjust the price correctly or not. And a lot of people in this market are not trying to lose any money for their home. They trying to make more. They trying to make a gain out of it. They trying to make a profit off of it. So that's that. But you make an offer, let's say it does get accepted. Okay, soon as your offer is accepted, you pretty much have already started your 30-day process. So I found my house the day after Christmas. I went to go see it that same day. My realtor was able to see, the people I was with worked fast. I woke up that morning, got on realtor.com, drove by the house. They didn't have no blinds or anything like that. It was new construction, so it's wide open. I was able to look in and see a little bit. Called my realtor, was like, hey, I see a house, whatever. She was like, well, you want to go look? I'm like, today if I can. 2 hours later, I was looking at the house, walking in, whatever. Liked what I saw, made my offer. But while my realtor was writing up my offer, writing up the contract for my offer, I was finishing my loan application. So I found the house, looked at the house, and was working with a lender all within the same day. The lender process was pretty quick because I already knew, I was familiar with the documents that they needed, and I had everything on my computer. So I was able to finish my application like within a day or two. But I was able to at least get my pre-approval letter to submit with the offer that same day. So the next day, which was December 27th, my offer had got accepted. I'm assuming I was the only offer on the house, because that never happened in the past. When I was looking for a house before, it would be like 5 of the offers, 6 of the offers, or by the time you make an offer, they're like, oh, the house is already sold. And it's like, what? I just looked at this house 30 minutes ago. What are you talking about? Anyways, anyways, my offer got accepted, thank God. I really feel like this house was meant for me because I had went through so much the first time. And so if you're not familiar with my process the first time, go back and watch a video I did maybe like 7, maybe 8 months ago now, where it says my home buying journey. I don't know how to link all that stuff in the videos yet. Still new, y'all, forgive me. But and I just kind of gave a little bit more detail about how much of a struggle it was and my concerns and frustrations. But so that was that. My offer got accepted, and then I mean we was rolling from there. Like, you know, I was finishing, I gave my lender the rest of the documents they needed, and they need so much. They need like, if you have 4 bank accounts, they need the previous 2 months bank statements for all 4 of those accounts. So if you have 4 accounts, and 2 months worth of bank statements, that's 8 bank statements that you gotta turn in. You gotta turn in your check stubs. If you're getting VA benefits like myself, you got to turn in that proof of that pay. You have to, they have to call your job, verify your employment. Like it's very, very invasive. They're gonna ask you like how much do you have in assets, and that's basically like, you know, do you own a car, do you already own a house, how much money do you have in your bank account? Which for me, I was like, they gotta know all that, like all in my business. But my mom, being a realtor, she explained to me that, you know, they trying to establish trust that you're gonna be able to pay this. So please, I would suggest, please don't even get a house if you don't even have no type of savings. Like I would I don't know to put a number on it, but you need to have something. I wouldn't move, I wouldn't be looking for a house unless you got 10-15,000 in savings. And I only say that because you have closing costs. My closing costs was like $6,000 at first, but I don't know what happened. I was getting credits, and you know, this, I don't know, it just went down to 4,000. So my closing cost is only 4,000. But if you're moving into a house and you don't have furniture, or you want all new furniture, like, you need to be, you know, seeing what you want, saving up that much. A new set of furniture, a new living room set, gonna run you good quality, gonna run you at least couple racks, you know what I'm saying, like 2,000, maybe 3, depending on what you're trying to get. You know, then you gotta think about, are you gonna get new beds? You gotta think about, you may be moving from a 1-bedroom apartment, you know, are you gonna furnish your guest room? What you gonna do with the 3rd room? Like, you know, are you redoing the kitchen? Like, you really need to have you some money. But anyway, they're gonna get all of your business, and I guess that's gonna also determine how much they're willing to lend you, or how much faith they have that you're gonna be able to afford a certain amount. So they like very intensive, very invasive. But if you got everything you need, you got everything you need. They're gonna help you, y'all, but I'm just saying they're gonna be very invasive. Okay, you make an offer, your offer gets accepted, you run through, you know, you finish all this stuff with your lender. Now it's time that you get a home inspection. So found the house, got my lender, made an offer on the 26th. 27th, my offer got accepted. 28th, I had my home inspection. I was moving fast, y'all. I was not wasting no time, because you have okay, once your offer gets accepted, you have 15 days to get an inspection. You have to pay. You have to pay for that inspection. Nobody's paying for that inspection but you. And that inspection is based on your square footage. It's based on the square footage of your home. It's like X amount of dollars per square feet or whatever. So for me, my home inspection was like $385, and that was the discounted price because I was a veteran. prior military. So it was $385. Original price would have been like $395, whatever. But $385, that was coming out of my pocket. So again, you can't just, you gotta have closing costs. You gotta pay for the inspection. Mind you now, when these inspectors come in there, they are not playing. At least mine wasn't playing. Like, he was like, this, like, the house looks good to you. They turning on faucets, they flushing, they turning on lights, they turning on the stove, make sure stuff work, they make sure water, like, they are checking everything to the nitty gritty. They are going through with a fine tooth comb. They feeling under the cat. Y'all, when I came inside this house, I thought it was perfect. When my inspector came, he had blue tape everywhere. Blue tape, they hang the blue tape to let the builders know and you know that this is what needs to be fixed. And so your inspector, they're as great as mine. They will show up an hour before you. They will give you a time, but they're going to show up an hour before. They're going to walk through, they're going to get on top of the roof, they're going to go up in the attic. Like, they do it all. They're going to turn the AC on to make sure that your heat pump condenser is running. That's the little fan thingy that's outside, I think that's what it's called. But they're going to make sure that that's running, because it should run whether you have the air on or the heat on. It was cold when I first found my house, so we were trying to run some heat. The emergency heat setting was on, but when you turn it on regular heat, it was not running. So that wasn't running. There was like holes in the vinyl siding of the house, which I seen. But you know, you may see something like some trim was missing on my counter, you know what I'm saying? It was knobs missing on the drawer. I feel like I saw that, but to me, I feel like, oh, it's new construction, they're not really done yet. Plus, I know it takes a month, so we got time to fix it or whatever. But you know, your inspector is gonna like point out all these things. And after they did the walkthrough, we showed up, and then they walked through again with us, showed us everywhere they had blue tape, and was like, we put blue tape here because you have a dent in your microwave. Like, they're gonna tell you everything, y'all. So the inspector's job is more so like, is everything in the house working? Is it safe? Like, there was the black tile that all y'all love right there at that windowsill. It was kind of uneven, and like, he was like, you could run your hand across. He was like, you don't have shelves in your bathroom, in the tub. So if you sit your products on that window, you run your hand across there or whatever, you could cut yourself because it was kind of sharp to them or whatever the case may be. Like, they check for stuff like that to make sure you're not gonna harm yourself. And then you get a home appraisal, and the appraisal is strictly like structure. Are there any cracks in your sidewalk? Do you have a tree stump that's running towards the house, because that could cause foundational issues? You have water damage on the ceiling. And if you're VA and you get a appraisal through the VA, like you're doing a VA loan, yeah, they not playing. So you're gonna want to make sure you find a house that is already structurally, like, I wouldn't move by no trees. I don't have any trees by me. It was new construction, so everything was laid, you know what I'm saying? There's no cracks in the sidewalk. All of that are signs of foundational issues. And when you with the VA, they strict about their appraisal. Everybody else, I don't know what they do, but the VA appraisals are very strict. And so they're basically looking for structure. So inspection is functionality of the home, and the appraisal is structural stability of the home. And the appraisal is usually paid for, well, for me, it was paid for by my lender, but in my closing costs, I paid it back. So you do pay for it, but not upfront. But the inspection, you gotta pay for the day that they come out there. So you gotta have that money up front. Okay, y'all, I am back. Different clothing. My camera did eventually die. If you hear anything in the background, it's because the people are collecting the trash right now. So that's what you hear outside. But I think where I left off at was talking about the home inspection and the appraisal. So the next step after that is purchasing your homeowner's insurance, because your insurance is going to be wrapped up into your mortgage payment. So my lender reached out to me and was like, hey, get with whatever insurance you're gonna choose. Here's a list of options we have, but you can choose your own and give us a quote. So I'm with Progressive. All I did was, well, I have Progressive for my car insurance. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be paying car and home, I might as well try to get like a little bundle. So I logged onto Progressive. I did a quote for the house, and they ask you like a lot of questions. They're gonna ask you like when the house was built, what type of house is it, farmhouse, Victoria, like, so you're gonna need to know the details of the type of house it is. If you're not familiar with it, Progressive will kind of like give you you know how you don't know what something is, you click on the little eye and it kind of gives you those definitions or help you understand what they're asking. Progressive did that. But it's like what type of roof you have, like you need to know all of that. If your inspector is like mine, so after you get an inspection, you get what's called an inspection report, and everything that they showed you, they're gonna have it listed for you. You're gonna copy, you can send your realtor a copy, you can send the builders a copy, so they know what they need to fix before closing, so that the house is ready to go for you. But in that report, my inspector already listed like the type of roof it was, or you know, just different questions that they asked on Progressive. He had it in the report, so luckily I was able to answer it. I would have been confused, but again, this was me doing it online because I don't like to be on the phone. Maybe if you get on the phone with an actual person, they will ask you the questions and be able to describe what they mean when they say what type of roof do you have, or what type of siding do you have, or whatever. Like I said, I had the vinyl siding. They're gonna ask you, is the house made of brick, or questions like that you need to know when you're getting your home insurance. So your lender is like, hey, give us a quote. So you go online, you get that quote, you can email them that quote, because once you get a quote, it gives you the option to print it out, whatever, save it. You can then forward it to your lender. They will then use that quote to put in your price, so they can tell you how much your mortgage is. So your mortgage may be one thing at first because they're doing the estimate, and it may go up and down as you provide more information throughout the process. So my mortgage was one thing, and then once I gave them the insurance quote, which was $783 for the whole year, not a month, so $783 for the whole year. And this was me getting like full coverage. I mean, if anything happened, fire, rain, sleet, snow, like theft, like I got the max coverage I could, because I ain't got time. I don't want to worry about nothing. I want to be able, like, I know it's covered. So I got the max coverage, and for me it was like $783 for the entire year. I gave that quote to my lender, and she factored that in my mortgage payment, and so my mortgage payment did go up a little bit. So that's how that works. Anyways, once your lender does that, they will tell you to call, or at some point you will have to call your insurance that you got the quote from and actually get everything established, and say, hey, my name is such and such such, I already have this with you, or maybe I was looking up this quote with you, and they're gonna ask you what is your loan application number. And then you will look on your loan documents that your lender is giving you, and you will give them that loan application number. You will tell them, hey, either my realtor is going to reach out to you and on my behalf. And then once you let them know that and you give the insurance company your loan application number, that should be all that you need to provide. Let your lender know. Your lender will call them, give them that same application number or whatever, and they will your lender will basically pay your insurance that day, and your and then you will just be paying the lender back every month that you pay your mortgage or whatever the case may be. So that's how that goes. It was a pretty uncomfortable phase for me. I kind of waited till the last possible minute to do that, because I was like, I don't want to, because when you do the quote online and you pay for it yourself, well, you should not pay for it yourself, period. But when I got the quote, it was prompting me to pay then. And so I was like, I'm not gonna pay for it right now. I don't know if I got the house for sure yet. Like, it still gotta go through, the appraisal doesn't come back good or whatever. So it was very uncomfortable for me. Luckily, I waited, and then my lender was like, oh, no, we pay it and then we just factor it in your mortgage. So I was like, okay, cool. So don't pay for any insurance up front. Only get the quote. Send the quote to your lender, and your lender will tell you what to do from there. Don't be paying for nothing that you ain't gotta pay for right then and there up front. So, and I would suggest that you go with your current insurance that you have maybe on your car or on your current house if you just get a new house. Because you can do like a home and auto bundle. So when I did that, my car insurance went down like $80 something, and then I was able to get I just got the multi-policy discount, so that was good for me. And then so that's pretty much it. You will get a message from your lender that's like, clear to close. Once you get that, that means we're done doing all the paperwork. No more paperwork needs to be done. They will send you like a draft version of everything you're gonna sign at closing, just so you can look at it, and it'll give you time to read it, correct some things. And this is like weeks before closing, but you read it, go through it. That way when you get to closing, you already know what you're looking at. There's no need to sit there and read all this paperwork. You can just sign, go on. I would still make sure everything looks kosher, peachy keen, but it pretty much should be the same documents that your lender already gave you in draft form. No numbers should change, anything like that. But just, look through as you're signing, be smart. But so we did that. I got the clear to close. Like I mentioned earlier in this video on my little captions, my builders dragged their feet to the point where I really had to kind of almost threaten them, if it's not done by closing, I will walk away at that closing table. I don't want to, because Lord knows I done already paid for inspection. Y'all done already ran my credit. I'm not trying to do all of this over again and waste more money. But I was willing to walk away if they didn't fix my stuff, because it's a new construction. Some stuff I should not have to walk in and fix. So I need y'all to get it done, or else you don't have a deal. So we did a final walkthrough, and everything was fixed, y'all. Everything was fixed, except there was a window that I guess maybe they got the grass cut or something, a rock maybe hit the window. The window broke. This was the day before closing, so it's like, bro, are y'all gonna fix this window by tomorrow? They was like, yeah, we're gonna fix the window by tomorrow. I rode by January 26th, that when I left work early, I rode by, the window was still cracked. I called my realtor. I was like, they didn't fix this window. They didn't fix this window. So I'm not, because when you buy the house, it's as is, you know what I'm saying? a new construction at least, it's as is. So we had to, my realtor reached out, and the selling realtor basically created an addendum that says, you know, we will purchase the home as is, window will get fixed at no cost to such, whatever will be done within XYZ. So I signed all the closing paperwork, I signed the addendum, and then by the time we finished the closing, we got back to the house, maybe like 30 minutes later, the guys were pulling up to fix the window. So it got fixed the same day, but perfectly, everything's just ready to go when you get ready to close on your home, because that was like a very unnecessary headache for me. Yeah, my builders were on that bull crap. So once you do the final walkthrough and everything you know, pleases you, everything that was supposed to be fixed or that was pointed out by your inspector has been completed, you know, all your doorbells and stuff work, your locks on your windows work, like all of these things are just in place. Do the final walkthrough, you're good, you know, all is well. You go to the closing table, you sign, and you're done. That is the process. All of that takes a month. The paperwork and stuff really takes a week or two, depending on how fast you and your lender communicate or how well y'all communicate. But it could be done quicker. Like I said, most of my 30 days of the closing process, 2 weeks of that, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I was just waiting for the builders to do what they had to do. The inspection was done, the appraisal was done, like everything was done. It was just, are these builders gonna do what they need to do? So some takeaways that I gave you guys 5 takeaways. The first takeaway, I will use realtor.com. They have an app. I know Zillow does as well, but for me, realtor.com is just easier to read. But realtor.com, you can use that to find your home. They have an app. You can save, you know, like just great. You can filter by price, you can filter by how much you want to pay a month, you can filter if you want to look at land, new construction, homes that are old, like you can filter and do all of that. And they're pretty good at like, they will tell you like, well, this is pending or this is under contract, or you know, like they're good at that. You can filter if you want HOA or not. Realtor.com, I would suggest, to me, is just easier to read than Zillow. Zillow is not complicated though, but I don't know, Realtor just seems a little bit more clear, especially like if you're older, you're not really tech savvy. I would do realtor.com. The second takeaway is have a great lender and realtor relationship and communication. So you need to have great communication with your lender and your realtor. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be afraid to ask questions, period. Even if you know, act like you don't know, okay? Just ask anyway, just for reassurance, just for clarity. Okay. Takeaway 3, home inspections, check for functionality. Home appraisals, check for structure and home value. Do you have a big tree that's going to cause foundational issues? Are your appliances stainless steel? Are they modern? Are they stainless steel? Like, do you have these cool features in the home? Do you have a regular AC? Do you have a Bluetooth AC? These, like, all of these things that could either increase or decrease the value of a home. When was the last time the roof was fixed? Like, water damage, all of that stuff like that. That is the home appraisal. So home inspection, Functionality, everything's working. You can plug something in without a spark flying. You can, all your knobs work and twist fine. Nothing has to be rigged in order to work. Everything, functionality. Home appraisal, structure, and value. Is the price that you're paying for this home reasonable? Takeaway number 4, I would purchase homeowner insurance with whoever you have car insurance or whatever other type of insurance with, just so that you could take advantage of those bundles, multi-policy discounts, whatever. I mean, if you're satisfied with your car insurance, which I was, that's who I'm gonna keep giving my money to. They probably suggested me some good homeowner insurance providers, but I'm just gonna stick with who I know. Like I said, I don't like to deal with multiple people. I don't like to be so like, just tell me what you offer, let me make a decision. Don't try to offer me no deals or nothing like that. Like, I mean, y'all get what I'm saying. Like, you want deals, but like sometimes you just want to hear what they bring to the table. You don't want all that extra. Like, I'm not finna sign with you right now. I just want a quote, which is why I go online, because if you call somebody, you could tell them that you just want a quote, they're still going to try to get you to sign on that dotted line at the end of the day, because that's their job. So for people like me who just don't want to be overwhelmed with it, I just go online or whatever and get a quote like that. And 5, this is big, y'all. This is big. Do not, N-O-T, don't make any purchases on credit. I wouldn't make any purchases at all. So for example, this house didn't come with a refrigerator. I had to get a refrigerator. Now, I suggest buying a refrigerator outright. That's what I did. I don't want to owe nobody. I'm not trying to pay on nothing. And I don't pay for it when folks come and take my refrigerator and whatever. I just ain't got time to owe nobody. But most people don't buy things outright. Like, you wouldn't buy a car outright. You would get a note on a car. And most people, when they're getting their first home, they probably just got married. They're getting a home. They're getting a new car. Like, they're doing a lot of things back to back to back to back to back. Once they run this credit, once they pull your credit and they run your credit and you're in the process of closing on a home, don't go and buy a new car. Wait till you have those keys in your hand. You're gonna get a message that says clear to close probably a week before whatever. Do not, I know you got the clear to close. I know you did everything. Do not, I repeat, do not go and purchase anything, especially if you're not gonna pay for it outright. I just wouldn't do it even if I know I'm gonna pay it outright, because I just paranoid like that. Like, I'm not doing nothing. I closed on my house January 26th, whatever that weekend was, the 28th or the 29th. I got a refrigerator after. It was not that big of a deal. If I would have had to eat out every day until I got a refrigerator, that's fine. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever you get your refrigerator from, and you're paying on it monthly, they're gonna ask you for your anything that you gotta do that's asking for your social. I don't care if you go to the mall, dealers, Belt, and they like, oh, we're gonna give you a business, a company, a store credit card or whatever. No, I am in the process of closing on a home. I cannot do anything that runs my credit. Thank you, but no thank you. Like, tell these folks no. Stay away from that cat. I didn't even send people I knew Cash App, because like I said, they ask for your bank statements, and some lenders may be like, okay, you send X amount on Cash App on a regular basis. Like, I personally would just stay away from the Cash App. Anybody asked me for money on Cash App, I was like, look, I'm trying to get a house. I can't be sending little amounts here and there back and forth through Cash App. I'm not trying to have no questions about what I'm doing with my money and who I'm sending it to, and is this a often thing. Like, I just don't have time to explain all the unnecessary, so I'm not gonna do what I don't have to do. If I needed something, I would go to the ATM, give people cash. Like, I'm staying away from that transferring money via Cash App. I'm not getting a car. I'm not going to buy a fridge, or like, people get excited. They get the clear to close, and y'all, you get a clear to close today. Next week is your closing. They're going to run your credit, and they're just basically going to do the whole pre-approval process one more time. And they'll either do it the day before closing. They can do it, I think the latest they would do all this like 15, maybe, I think my mom said 15 minutes prior. So if your closing is next week at 11 o'clock, they could run your credit again at 10:45. 10:45, 15 minutes minimum, I think. So at 10:45 a.m., they run your credit, and you done went to Lowe's, and you done ran your credit to get a refrigerator, and you paying on it or whatever. That affects your debt to income ratio, which is what they look at when they run your credit. That affects your debt to income ratio. You just took on a new debt, but your income didn't change. So you messing up the debt to income ratio, you messing up that balance. And you will mess yourself up, and then 15 minutes before you're supposed to sign and get the keys, they're gonna be like, yeah, this came back and we can no longer approve you. And you just went and started paying on the refrigerator, then now you finna have to return and wait for your money to come back because you couldn't just wait till you got the keys. Y'all, it's not that deep. Refrigerators ain't ever going out of stock. Refrigerators ain't ever going out of stock. And when they made that one car that you seen, they didn't stop making other ones like it. Wait, please be patient. This really should have been takeaway number 1. But I can't stress it enough, y'all. I know I'm being extra, but I cannot stress it enough. Do not, once you start, listen, whatever you gotta do, do it. Once you start this home buying process, the day that you submit that loan application, they should tell you your do's and don't, what to do, what not to do. But the day you start, you're gonna have to have a month where you're not buying nothing. I didn't even, just don't buy nothing, y'all. Buy what you need, like buy groceries. I'm saying don't run your credit for anything. And that's all I'm gonna tell you. Nah, you go get a house and you decide you want to get a refrigerator or whatever, a week before or the day before, or don't say Nisha ain't tell you, because I'm telling you now. Okay? And this ain't on here, but honestly, y'all, just keep on the hush. When I found, keep it on the hush. Like, I didn't tell nobody. I told 2 people outside of my realtor, you know, whatever, because they were gonna have to help me move, you know what I'm saying? And that was my mama and my coworker. My coworker helped me find 2 guys that could help me move, so I needed their schedules to align with mine, so I had to tell her. And she's somebody that I trust, and I knew she wasn't gonna tell nobody. I only told my mom because, like I said, she's a realtor in another state, so she can't operate in my state. But she's a realtor, and there were things that I had questions about, and she was also going to help me move, and I needed those questions answered, because it may be like after hours, I don't want to text my realtor. I'm like, Mom, or, you know, you may have a realtor that you trust, but I'm gonna call, y'all know how it go, I'm gonna call my mama anyway. If my mama say it ain't right, it ain't right. We asking some questions, cause my mama said, my mama said, da 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 da. So, what you talking about? tell me the truth now, because I'm gonna ask my mama. So I don't know, that's just me. That's just one good thing about knowing some people. But yeah, that's it, y'all. That's my home buying process. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with anybody you know that's going through the home buying process. If they have any questions, or if you have any questions or suggestions on how the home buying process could be smoother, you want to talk about what your home buying process was like, drop that down in the comments below. I will remember to link my previous experience when I tried this last year, which was early 2022, and how that home buying process went. That will be in the description box below. My socials will be in the description box below. Make sure y'all follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. I don't have any other social medias, so that's it, y'all. But yes, any questions or anything that I said in this video that maybe is still not clear to you, please let me know. I tried to kind of get some things in my takeaway that I didn't mention before. If I said something that was unclear, just drop that in the comment below. Y'all communicate with each other. If you're a realtor, you see somebody come in, vice versa. Like, communicate with people, answer the questions that I can't answer, make comments based on the home buying process that you know how it goes in your state, because every state is different. But for the most part, they're all the same. And I thank y'all for watching this video. Y'all ran up the empty house tour video. That video is like 1.9 thousand views the last time I looked. It may be at 2K. Y'all was running it up, and I mess with y'all for that. Now, if everybody that was watching could just subscribe, it would be all the stuff. But you know, hey, a win is a win. A win is a win. So please run up this video. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody you know. Let's get us some homeowners. Let's get some assets under our belt. Let's do, like, I want to be on this journey with a lot of y'all. I want to be not an inspiration, but I want to just kind of like be that person to do it and bump my head and go through the process so that you ain't got to. So just follow my journey here, ask me questions. I'm very nice, I'm very open, try to be. So thank you, bye.